Everyone, so today we're going to be doing our very first quick mini tutorial on Procreate.
So I have the Procreate app already downloaded to my iPad. I have it just pinned right here at the bottom. So we're going to tap and open our Procreate. What you see here when you pull up is, for me, this is just how I have my Procreate organized. I have it organized just really based off of categories. This is a personal preference. What these are stacks. So for example, birth flowers. This is a stack. When I open it, you'll see just different ones that I have done. So today, just for the beginning, easy, quick design options, we're gonna go just make a quick mama design. So I'm gonna scroll down here into my mom life. Go into my stack. What I wanna do is right here on this plus sign, we're gonna create a new canvas to work in. I have one already pre-saved, a 12 by 12 canvas. That's just my preference, but let me show you how to make your own canvas from scratch. So right here in the corner, we're gonna hit this add button. It's gonna pull up your different options. You can name your canvas. I don't ever do that. What I pay attention to is my canvas size. I do all of mine, for the most part, in 12 by 12 inches. Right now it's in pixels, so we're going to go down here, hit inches. In the width and height, we're just making perfect square canvas of 12 by 12. The important thing to do when you're making your canvas is to pay attention to your DPI. Most PNG designs need to be in at least 300 DPI, dots per inch. That just helps for people who use PNG for printing to get you a super clear image. That way you don't have something that's very pixelated, very blurry, whatever. This is just the easiest option. So 300 DPI, and I feel like they updated this because it used to not be this many, I feel like, when I started. Maximum layers, 76. Layers, to me, can be really confusing in the beginning. It takes time. We'll go more in depth as these tutorials go on. To the best of my ability, full disclaimer, I am still new. I am self-taught. I watched a lot of videos, and my hole in this program and wanting to do this is my background was embroidery. When I wanted to move from the embroidery world into the digital file world, I couldn't find anything to show me how to make these super cute, almost like faux embroidery, faux applique designs that I was used to. There's just no tutorials on that. It was either just the super basic stuff or super advanced, not my style. So I was just self-taught. I've learned a lot. I still have a lot to learn. I am by no means an expert artist. So I just do the best that I can. So yeah, now we created our new canvas. So we have a 12 by 12 canvas to work in. So what I'm going to show you today is just a quick mama design. And what this to me in the beginning was, I just wanted to be able to make something that had like a cute kind of faux applique, like a pretty floral or patterned design in the letters. That was a big thing for me, so that's just where we're going to start. So in here you have a bunch of different little icons. We'll go more in depth on as we go. The first thing I want to do is I'm just going to change my outline layer to black. So this is your color selector. You have disc, classic, harmony, value, and palettes. Palettes, really cool. You can import palettes. You can buy them. You can get free ones. You can create a palette from a picture. It's really cool. So we're going to cover the disc. And a quick, easy thing to do to get a true black is a quick double tap right here at the bottom. Just gives you black. Now to add text in Procreate, we have a wrench icon. We are going to select, and it pulls up different options. We're going to go to add. And right here is add text. And it pulls up a text box. So while it's highlighted, I'm just going to use the word mama for this tutorial. Turn my caps lock on and hit mama. Now that I'm done typing, right here you'll see this will bring up your font options and all the editing you can do for your fonts. So I'm going to hit the A, and it pulls up all of the fonts. Procreate comes with a lot of fonts. I've also installed and bought a lot of fonts. We can go through and show you how to import fonts you buy. It's pretty simple. So for this look, what I want to do is a varsity style mama. That's what's in right now, and it'll be, I don't know what it'll be. So we're gonna go and scroll up. I know the font that I want to use. Scroll. So I clicked it, see it didn't change anything. So you're gonna need to highlight the text. Make sure it's highlighted when you hit your A. Go back again, here we go. Wow, okay. So I have this text selected to the font that I want. I'm gonna go up here, hit my select, or my arrow. That's going to allow me to readjust the size of, that's going to allow me to adjust the size of the text, to move it around. So what I want to do, just a quick option with this, is hit fit to canvas. And what I want to do now, for my preference, is adjust it. I want to make it kind of narrow and tall. So I'm going to hit freeform. What freeform allows me to do is to move the adjustment in one direction without changing the other directions. So I'm going to drag it up in freeform, kind of giving that tall, skinnier look. Drag it down, make sure to just drag it out, maybe. Sometimes if you, to zoom in and zoom out on your canvas, you take your fingers, and I want to be outside of this box. So I want to be able to see more of like the edges of my canvas. So just kind of like on your phone, how you swipe in or zoom in and zoom out like this, is the same thing. Make sure you're outside of what is selected, or you can just turn it off. So I'm going to pinch so I can see more of my canvas, right? Again, I'm going to go right back here, select it, adjust my size now, get it centered on my canvas. There we go. So another option, or deselect here, to get this back to my full screen. Just a quick pinch brings your canvas back to full size. What I want to be able to do is have an outline layer and then a layer inside where I can add a floral print, a checkered print, glitter, whatever you prefer. So right here is our layers tab. Procreate works in layers. So we have our mama, and what you see right here is this is not rasterized. That's important later on, the further you go, to understand. So while it's not rasterized, I can edit the font itself. I can make any adjustments. Whereas if it's rasterized, I would have to go in and redo the whole thing. So what I'm going to do to show you how to get an outline layer and the fill layer is we're going to duplicate this. We're going to swipe to the left and hit duplicate. It puts a new layer on top. So for you to be able to see how to get this outline effect, I'm going to go back down to the bottom layer. So this layer is below here on the canvas. So when I change the color, you won't see it right now, but I'm going to go and select this layer. I'm going to tap and highlight my text. I'm going to go ahead and just change it to pink. So that way, pinch, we go in right here. I'm going to edit this to make it an outline. So I want to, again, because it's not rasterized, I can edit the font. I'm going to highlight it, go into my A tool, or A button, I don't know. And Procreate has this option right here that go ahead and will outline text for you. So once I hit this outline, you'll see it gave me just the outline. So now we have the normal layer below it, and this outline layer on top. So if I were to turn off, right, because this shows you your visibility for your layers, turn this layer off. There you go. So this is just my outline layer that we just did using that outline button. If you were to take this and move it below your pink layer, it just makes it kind of skinnier because you can see less of this layer now because it's below this. But I prefer it for this to be on top. So the next thing I want to be able to do is make this pink have a pattern in it. And so what you want to be able to do is use a clipping mask. And a clipping mask has to go above this pink layer but below this black layer. So I'm going to have the bottom layer right here selected. I'm going to add a new layer. And what I'm going to do here, well, you really don't have to do this probably, but for the time and to make it easier on this video, what I want is I'm just going to go ahead and add in, you can use many subscriptions like Creative Fabrica or Canva or anywhere you pay. You can buy them off Etsy. You can probably get them for free. I have a lot saved from Creative Fabrica, and I also have some that I've bought from Etsy. So I'm just going to add in a digital paper, which is kind of like if you were to, in the embroidery world, you had a floral fabric, right? You put that floral fabric in your stitching, right? And then you have your satin stitch over it. So what I want to do is put my floral fabric right here. So I'm going to go into our wrench icon. I already have, again, a lot of stuff already saved. I'm just going to go pick one. We're going to add it in and go for there. So wrench, I'm going to do insert a file. All of mine are saved on my iPad because when I originally started, I was going to do sublimation. So they're here, my digital papers. I'm going to do a floral design. I'm going to go to my florals and just pick one out. Let's see, let's do this like a red, white, and blue colored one. Kind of reminds me of like baseball, the baseball mom. So all I have to do to insert it is just tap it. Tap the file, it'll import it for you. And it imported it on this layer in between here. So to make this fill inside our outline, I want to turn this into a clipping mask, right? So with this layer selected, I'm going to hit clipping mask. All it does is it takes this and anything below that layer is what it will stick to, right? So because this layer only had that pink mama, this will only stick to what was pink or whatever color you had it. So the clipping mask will cover this layer and puts it, so if I were to turn off this black outline, you would see it's still right there. And, you know, for the sake of the video, we'll keep it. Not super fan of this pattern, but we'll just go with it. So what I think I want to do now is change the color of my outline to make it kind of go better. So I'm going to rasterize this layer. I'm going to select it and come over here and rasterize it. That means I can't edit the font or anything anymore. But I'm doing that because now I want to be able to color match. So a cool thing Procreate has is right here, this little circle. Once you tap it, you can color match perfectly to anything on your canvas. So let's see, let's try the darker red that's inside of this flower. Okay, so now my color I'm working with right here is red. Oops. Uh-oh, see, I accidentally drew on my canvas. You just take 2 fingers, tap, that will undo. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to turn on what's called alpha lock. So what alpha lock will do, it's over here, you tap your options, hit alpha lock. So let me turn off these layers. So alpha lock, you can only color on fill in whatever is on that layer. So this layer by itself is that outline. So when I put red onto this layer, it will only, with alpha lock, it will only fill in what's on this layer. If I don't have alpha lock and I go to put the red in, it'll fill the whole layer, and that's not what I want. I want my outline to be red. So again, undo. I'm going to turn on alpha lock. You have two different ways you can do it. You can take your red, hold it down, drag and drop. You can hit continue filling, oops, undo it. Or I'm going to hit undo, go to your layer with your alpha lock on, tap again and hit fill layer. So everything inside of this layer will turn red. Now let's turn back on these two so you can see. Do we like that? I don't know. Let's keep trying. I'm going to try a different color. So again, I'm going to hit this little option right here. Let's try navy blue. I'm going to go back into my layer, hit fill layer. There you go. I like that a lot better. Oops. Okay, that's a good thing to show you. So I was thinking I had all my layers selected, but one thing you can do is select multiple layers at once. So this one is what is currently selected, what I'm working in. If I swipe right, all 3 layers, I can go up here and move all 3 layers around simultaneously to wherever I want. And I just want to get it centered. Let's zoom out, see how it looks. So again, this is great. You can stop right here. Let me show you a way you can curve your text, make it kind of arched. So what I'm going to do is I like to turn off my background color, so there's no background. I go in right here to my wrench, and we're going to hit copy canvas. What that does is whatever you can see, whatever layers are turned on and visible, it will copy it into one single layer. So right now we have 3 layers. If I go in here and hit copy canvas and hit paste, it takes all those 3 layers and now they're all on one layer. I'm going to turn off the visibility right here, turn my background color back on. What I want to do is show you how I like to curve my text, because for some reason Procreate just doesn't have that option yet. So we're going to go into our wrench. First thing I like to do is hit canvas and turn on our drawing guide. This gives you a grid so you can kind of make everything symmetrical, see where you're working. So to do this, the reason I like to put this on its own layer is when I get done curving it, I will then have a curved option, and then I will also still be able to have my straight option, and I can go in and I can edit colors, I can change the fabric or the pattern, and just keep readjusting, making changes, copy my canvas, and just keep doing different things that way. So let's get this one turned back on. I'm gonna go and hit my arrow tool. I call it select, but that's really the select one, which we'll get into later. So with this, we have several different options to move what you have. So I'm going to go into warp, and warp, and with advanced mesh will add more dots so you can make your adjustments. So to get it to arch, I'm going to start at the bottom right here and drag down just to whatever I like. I'm going to go in on this other side at the very bottom corner right here, and I'm going to drag down. And the good thing about the grid being there is you're on a straight line, so you know that it'll be even across the bottom. You won't have a lopsided design. So I'm going to do the same thing for, I don't know if you can see, we'll have to zoom in. We have the 4 dots, so I'm just going to go in, move each side back and forth until I have the shape that I want. So again, I'm going to take this one, I'm going to drag it down. Go in on this side, drag it down the same amount, I think. Go again. And lastly, I really kind of like this shape, but for the sake to get the full curve look, let's just do this last corner. And there you go. So now I'm just going to hit this button so I can zoom out and look and see, do I like it, what I want to do with it. And I'm going to move it back up to the center and then decide. I'm going to go back to uniform, that way everything moves together neatly. There we go. The snapping tool right here, I have it turned on. So what that does is when I'm moving, you'll see these little gold lines that pop up. Like that pops up to the center of the canvas horizontally or vertically, and then horizontally. And then I can go into free form if I want. Maybe that's too tall. I want to keep the same width, only make it shorter. I can just adjust from the bottom. If I want to pull out the size all the way to the edges, I can do that. This will just let you move in one direction at a time, whereas if you had uniform, it would affect the entire size. Now I'm just going to move it back to the center. And there you go. So if you came back over here, you see we have on this layer, we have our curved mama. But if I turn this off and turn these visibilities back on, you'll see we have also the straight mama. So next thing we can do is show you how to export this to save as a PNG. So before you export, you want to make sure you have your background color turned off. This will be what gives you the transparent background that PNGs need. So if you save it with this background color, it's going to be there even if you select PNG. So always make sure you turn off your background color. We're going to go to our wrench and hit share. They have different options, you know, JPEG, PDF. We're going to hit PNG. And I have all of mine sorted on my iCloud drive under files. So I'm going to hit save to files. My PNG designs will go into my mom folder. We'll just name it Blue Floral. And we'll hit save. And there we go. Now we saved our first PNG. Another thing you can do with this is create a mock-up. So I'll just quickly show you while we're here how you can take this canvas and paste it to a whole different canvas. So again, I'm going to go back into my ad and I'm going to copy my canvas. I'll go back into my gallery. I have a mock-up folder already that I use. Oops. I'm just trying to get this back over here. A mock-up folder. So I went back. This is like the home screen, if you will, for Procreate. This is my mock-up stack. I'm going to select this one. And if we go back into our wrench and we hit paste, it's going to paste the last thing that I copied. I'll resize it. Drag it up here. Let's turn off this other mama design on here. I'm gonna turn that one off. Okay, let's pick, let's see what it would look like on light blue. So with my mama layer selected, I'm going to hit my arrow design, kind of drag it out. Let's resize it to fit the crew neck. And there we go. Now you have a mock-up. For me, when I export my mock-ups, instead of doing a PNG, I just hit my wrench, hit share, and I do a JPEG. Yeah, that's it. That's the first thing that I wanted to learn when I started out, was how to make designs like this. Just comment below anything you want to see, certain styles, certain designs, whatever. Well, I'll do my best to make new videos frequently, as much as I can with the kids. Just different things. We can kind of, how I organize, how I get inspiration, different tips and tricks, and all the things.